Hello there everyone, this is Neil from ratinghorses.com. Hope you're well. It's Friday afternoon and time is 20 past 3 and I've been working on something that I thought I'd like to share with you. It's as you well know, I like to look for each way value, so I like to look at races that have 8 or more runners to get that each way value. But I've been trying out a different method and it has been working extremely well. So of course I thought I'd share that with you. And one of my recent successes was back on Wednesday. If you look at the top of the spreadsheet, you can see Wednesday 28th of August. And I was looking at racing at one of my local tracks at Worcester. And everything fell into shape. Wasn't a greatest quality race, being a class 5, but nevertheless it wasn't a class 6, which I tend to run away from, as it were. But this race, handicap, and of course had 8 or more runners. So I used my new method and to work out what sort of selections I would be looking at, and I'm going to go through with this little method with you now. So 14 runners. Now if you highlight a cell that I'm going to do now, you can change the colours of these cells. So I'm highlighting all these horses and I'm going to highlight these red to begin with. Now this is the way I'm doing things, a new method. Everybody could find their own way method. It's all about finding different ideas, and what works for one doesn't necessarily work for another. But this, I think, is a good little way of trying to narrow down the field. Now I'm going to be using red colours. I'm also going to be using orange. I'll be using yellow, and I'll also be using green. Now a little bit like the lights, traffic lights, green will be the best, then I'm going to go down to yellow, which will be my second best, then we're going down to orange, which will be my third best, and red will be fourth best. Okay, so we're working from red, orange, and then I've added yellow before I go to green, which will be my best horse, as it were, and I'll explain as I go along. So using all the information we have on the spreadsheet, I'm going to go through and highlight these horses in different colours as we go. Now every horse starts red, so fourth, as it were, and I'm going to go through all the different criteria and change the colour coding of the cells. Well, let me just go through it and I'll explain how we go. So the top rated horse, She Has Notions, is well clear in this race. So I'm going to put that a step up from red, which will then make that orange. The rest, there's pretty much, this one is quite clear, so we'll leave it at there. Now horses that are finished in the top 3 or 4, again, last time out, I tend to put another step up. So we can see that this one will now become yellow. This one will become orange because it finished first last time out. Nothing else really finished in the first 3. Well, they go first 4, so that will become orange, and Lost Connections will become orange. So say red is the lowest level, then a step up will become orange, then a step up further that will be yellow, and then the top step will be green. Okay, so if you can just try and picture traffic lights where red is stop and green is go, but we put a yellow in between the green and orange. Okay, so we move on. There's no draw by us, so there's nothing to take because of course you've been over the national hunt. Then we take into account course and distance, so we can see She Has Notions as 1 over course and distance, so this will go up another step, so that is now at the highest, green. Sinister Minister will go up a step, that will become orange, and these two, which are orange, will now become yellow. So I hope it's all starting to make a little bit sense now. I then look at the OF strategy, and we'll look at the top three and the bottom three. So the top three, you can see Lost Connections is first, so that will go from yellow to green. Henry Box Brown will go from red to orange, and She Has Notions is third, but we can't go any higher than green, so it stops at green. Now the bottom three that has an OFS rank are School for Scandal, which is already red. Sinister Minister will go now from orange to red, and finally Mr. Sociable is always red. Is already red, sorry. Then we look at the speed. Again, we do the same with the top three and bottom three. She Has Notions is top. Henry Box Brown is second, so that will now become yellow. And Lost Connections is already green, and Invincible Wish will also now become green. The bottom three, well, joint bottom with 11, we can see that Harry's Hope will go from orange back to red, and then the other three are already red. And finally the power rating, Lost Connections is already green. Henry Box Brown will go from yellow to green, and She Has Notions is already green. 3 joint 12, can't go any further red. So I hope that we haven't finished, by the way, but I hope it's going to gives you a bit of idea of what we're doing. So anything positive, you go up a step. Anything negative goes down a step. So we start at bottom red, then to orange, then to yellow, and then to green. And we can see here they've got 4 that seem to be outstanding in this race at the moment. But now I'm going to move over to today's weights, and any horse that is going up in weight will go down a step. Anything that is anything that is going up, yes, it will go down a step. Anything that is dropped down in weights will get a positive, will go up a step. So She Has Notions last time out was off a mark of 74. One last time out has been put up £5, so this is a bit of a negative, so that now will go down to yellow. We do this with every horse. Sinister Minister is down in weight, so that will go up a step to orange. Lost Connections is exactly the same, so we leave that. Invincible Wish is going up in weight, so now that will drop down a step to yellow. Henry Box Brown has dropped down in weight, but it's already green. School for Scandal is the same. Harry's Hope is dropped down in weights, so that will become orange. And I'm just quickly going to go through these famous last words, and those 3 are all down in weight, so it'll become orange, and that one will also become orange because it goes down in weights again. So now it's making a good picture. Now with this, what I will do, and this is, I have missed about with this, but basically those with a decent course percentage and distance percentage and going percentage will be positives. So we'll go through those first, and then I'll go about the negatives in a second. So She Has Notions, the only one really that has any sort of record, so they'll go green. Now what I tend to do with these 3 columns is anything that is worse than 0 from 4 gets a negative. So we can see here that Sinister Minister is 0 from 8, so anything worse than 0 from 4 will get a negative, and that now is going to go down to red. And Lost Connections is going to go down to yellow. There's nothing else there worse than 0 from 4. Same with the distance. Invisible Wish has got the best percentage strike rate, so that's going to be moved up to green. And then we have Lost Connections, which is going to be moved back up to green, and She Has Notions is already green. Again, anything worse than 0 from 4, so School for Scandal is 0 from 6, but is already red. Banai Do will go back to red, and Mrs. Sociable is already red. Do the same for the going. She Has Notions is top, Lost Connections second, Invincible Wish, third, already on green. So again, anything worse than 0 from 4. So Henry Box Brown is now going to drop down to yellow. School for Scandal is already red. Miss Moret will go back to red. And all the rest of them remain the same. So I hope you get some sort of idea what we're doing here. We're working through all the information on, similar to probably the power rating. So we're going to see if anything matches up. Again, we're going to go to the 14-day stats for the trainer. Henny Box Brown is the best, 40%, so that's going to go to green. And then we're going to go Famous Last Words. It's going to go up to yellow. And then the next one is Harry's Hope, which will go up to yellow. Again, anything worse than 0 from 4, and there isn't anything. And finally, the Jockey. Again, you can. I have debated if to mess with the Jockey on it, but we've got all the information to hand, so we may as well. Mr. Sociable is the best Jockey, so that is going to move up to orange. Chaz Notions is already green, and Harry's Hope with Ben Jones is 40%, so that is now also going to go to green. Anything again 0 from 4, so here we have Lost Connections is 0 from 13, the Jockey Gavin Shear, no wins from 13, so that's going to go down to yellow. Invincible Wings, yellow. School for Sandal is already red. That's already red, and that's already red. And one of my final point of calls is this horse offering us good value. And we look at these two columns. The forecast price is the price that the horse was when the ratings were collated, so this would have been on Tuesday evening around 7 o'clock, and we can see that She Has Notions would have been around 100 to 30. Sinister Minister 16 to 1. Our odds takes into account all the criteria in the spreadsheet and gives us what we think this horse should be. So we think that She Has Notions should be around 9 to 2 before we should really be considering this as having an edge on the bookmaker. So again, I'm going to go down as a negative or positive. She Has Notions, our forecast odds suggest this should be 9 to 2. It was going off at 10 to 3, so that's going to be a slight negative, so that'll go down to a yellow. Sinister Minister was offering us value, so that would move up and that will go to orange. Lost Connections was going to be offering us value, so that will go up. Invincible Wish was not, so that will go to orange. Henry Box Brown was offering us value. Our odds suggest this horse should just be around 4 to 1, 9 to 2, and it was available at 8 to 1. We can't go any higher than green. Skillful Sandals already red. Harry's Hope, our odds suggest this one should be way bigger, so that's got to drop down to yellow. And I'm just going to go through all these. This one was offering us value, so that will go to orange. Famous Last Words was offering us just about value, so that will go up to green. These two weren't, and only Platines go to yellow, and the rest. And there we go. So we've gone through all the information, we've done our bits and bobs, and we can see that 3 horses are highlighted. We've taken into account all the information, and the 3 horses that are all ranked 1 as it were with the green are Lost Connections, Henry Box Brown and Famous Last Words. The ones we ought to dismiss really are the ones in red and orange, and maybe if there was a bit of value we could have a look at the ones in yellow, which would be Harry's Hope and She Has Notions. So that was what I went through on Wednesday, and this is maybe something that you could adapt yourself, maybe work slightly different, but I have been having some very good success, and I have found some fantastic value doing this. So I'm just going to go over to now to Timeform, and we can have a look at the the results for this race, 440 Worcester, and there we can see Henry Box Brown won the race at 15-2. Henry Box Brown was one of 3 horses that is highlighted green. Okay, the one I actually backed on Wednesday evening was Famous Last Words. Now, this hadn't been on the track for the best part of a year and a half, but nevertheless was showing us good value. You can see it comes second at 16-1, and again this one here highlighted in green. Okay, and third was Kaif Bahar, third at 33-1, which never really showed. Again, hadn't been on the track for over a year. But fourth was Lost Connections, and this race did pay out first 4 with a number of bookmakers. Lost Connections fourth, was the 11-4 favourite, and that was the other horse that was in the green. So Lost Connections come fourth, Henry Box Brown won, Famous Last Words come second. So give this a go. I'm not saying you've got to follow everything letter to the law what I've done. There may be some parts of the criteria of the spreadsheet that you'd rather dismiss. But give this a whirl, especially on races that are over 8 runners, especially handicaps and very high good profile races like listed events and things like that. I've had some great success, and I hope this is just another way of how you could find some good value and some big priced winners with the each way betting by doing this colour coding. Remember, we all start at red. Anything that's a positive goes up a step, anything that's a negative goes down a step. You may want to do 5 or 6 different steps. Okay, this is just me trialing and testing, but I have had some really good success over the last couple of weeks with this, and I will keep testing and I will keep swapping and changing. But this race on Wednesday was one that highlighted, and as I say, I did have the second Famous Last Words. It was the one I delved with, and was offering me value, and it led all the way actually until about the last final furlong, when the other green pick, Henry Box Brown, come and won quite comfortably, cosily in the end. Hope this helps. Any questions, please get back to me at neil@ratinghorses.com. Love to hear your thoughts, and I will speak to you very soon.